York. When I've always said, Coach, whenever I've had a chance to run into you over the years, it's always a good day for me because there's really no bad days in your life. You're one of the great guys to be around in hockey. So thanks for doing this today. And I'll just start by asking you, why now? I mean, you've been doing this for so long. Why was this the right time for you to step away?
I always thought I'd get a feel, is this the time to stop? And, I just woke up probably 9-10 days ago in the morning and said, this is the time. I thought it would come to me, and it just came to me in the morning. And I had a cup of coffee in my hand thinking about it, and so it was made quick like that. So it all comes to us, I think, if you be patient. And I loved what I did. I had a great passion for the game and enjoyed every minute of it. But I knew this was the time to move on to different things.
Well, you had such a great career, and, people might forget, or younger viewers don't remember, you played at BC, and you were a tremendous player during your time there in the mid-'60s. Growing up, it was a big family, the York family. I believe it was 9 siblings, 10 children altogether. What was it like for young Jerry York growing up? Was it a lot of hockey at that time?
It was crazy. I was 8th of 10, and it was split 5 boys, 5 girls. So being the 8th, I had to do a lot of errands, and but they looked after me. But not a lot more baseball then. The first time I actually put a uniform on was 9th grade in high school. So we'd play, pond hockey, but it was all baseball then. I thought I'd be the next fall Billy Consolo from the Red Sox, but it never happened.
You go on to Boston College as a player. What was college hockey like in the mid-'60s at that time? What was it like? Because we'd had the U.S. team won the 1960 gold medal at Squaw Valley, so it was starting to kind of move forward. You played, I think, from 63 to 67. What was it like at BC in that era?
Well, at that time, freshmen all played on a freshman team, and it was kind of a nice adjustment from high school to college that way. And I was a walk-on when I went to BC, but I was treated just like a regular scholarship player. And back in my mind, I always thought if I was going to coach, I'd be the same way. But he played as a freshman, had 3 years with the varsity. And really, we had Johnny Cuniff with us at that time. And I was fortunate he was on my line. He had aspirations to play for the Bruins and NHL, but none of us thought about that. It was 6 teams, very few Americans, even fewer U.S. college players. But Johnny always had that aspiration, but he was one of the few in our time period ever thought of NHL.
Yeah, Johnny Cuniff went on to, I guess, coach with the New Jersey Devils and was a guy that really did make a lot of inroads into the National Hockey League later on in his life. You get a chance to coach. You go to Clarkson, and you're the head coach there. 1972, you're the head coach. I mean, you're a young guy at that time. I mean, I don't think you imagined at that time, Coach, that you would be coaching for 50 years. What was it like at Clarkson in that era?
Well, it was especially starting like 2-8, I think, 1 loss record. I was up at night thinking, really, this is what I want. And then all of a sudden, I got a call from Dave Taylor, and he said, I'd like to come to Clarkson. And that changed the whole dynamics of our team around. And so one visit to Levack, Ontario, and it was remarkable that he said yes. And he went on to, of course, a stellar career. And Clarkson broke every record there, and on to NHL fame with the Kings.
Yeah, he was, I guess, maybe the first of a long line of guys that played for you at the college level that went on to really be great players in the NHL. I mean, you've had, Rob Blake was with you at Bowling Green, and you think about all the great players you had at Boston College. I mean, you had Thatcher. We're looking at the list right here. I mean, Demko, Gaudreau, Giunta, Kreider. Go back to Dave Taylor, as we mentioned. I mean, is there any one characteristic when you've had all these guys that maybe you thought, like, they're different?
Oh, without any question. For example, the first time Chris Kreider came on a practice, you could just hear him skate, and, almost above the ice, how strong and powerful he was. And, someone like Rob Blake, the first couple of shots, I said, oh, this guy's going to hurt somebody. Hopefully not our goaltender, but, yeah, there's always a difference. Johnny Gaudreau, I mean, the magic was almost like we had that peripheral vision times on steroids almost. You could see everybody, and just fabulous to watch him play. And He's over 100 points this year, so that's great. And Cries has broken 50 for goals. So I better mention the goalie. Thatcher Demko's having a heck of a year
Oh,
for Vancouver.
yeah, he absolutely is. And you got young Spencer Knight, who's making his way as well. So you've seen all kinds of great players come through at the different places, mostly at Boston College. But as I say, going back to Clarkson and Bowling Green, I want to ask you about that first national championship team you had at Bowling Green, because it was a different world of college hockey then. It was a crazy way you guys won it. I think it was a 4-overtime game. I think it was Gino Cavallini who got the game winner, who went on to play in the NHL. What do you remember about that first national title back in '84?
Well, 2 NHL All-Stars back there with Gary Galley and Dave Ellett. So that was a good, you talk about depth of the blue line back. But it was an incredible experience. I never forget in the post-game, we had a reception for all the team and parents, and it was euphoric. And all of a sudden, my athletic director said, "Hey, President Bush is on the phone for you." And it was my brother in the other room. And he'd pretend he was the White House calling, and we got up there and I said, "Oh, Bill, how can you do that to me?"
That's a good little trick. I mean, when you're winning, you don't care as much, right? I mean, it's different if it's the other way around. You know, you get to go to BC, and again, as I mentioned, you played there, and you had such strong ties. You grew up probably not even that far from there. What was that like when you stepped to the podium and to make that announcement that you were taking the job? Because it had to be special.
Well, you saw how dark my hair was that time on the first film, so you know, it's as a memory. It's there. I was so excited, you know, and I really enjoyed Clarkson. A tremendous feeling in Bowling Green. 15 years in the Ohio area, but coming home was just special. It's your alma mater, and you know, I remember always growing up hoping I could play at BC, and you know, the opportunity to coach at BC was just was an amazing experience, and I cherish it to the. You know, I didn't know I was going to go 28 years here, but I did, and it goes by so fast. But great memories at all 3 schools, particularly, you know, being at my alma mater.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And, you know, you'd won the national title in '84. You come to BC, and slowly you kind of rebuild that program. And in 2001, you get your first national title at BC, the first there in a while. What was that season like? Because I'm sure there was a lot of anticipation. It's one thing to win a national title at Bowling Green, which was exciting, but then to win one as the head coach at your alma mater must have been just off the chart.
Yeah, it was, and especially you know, we had a terrific year, and then we culminated in a 4th Frozen Four in a row. So like Brian Johnson's class, they've gone to the Frozen Four 3 times, and now they come up short each time, and you know, right to the wire. It was a final game, and to go to that 4th time and then go overtime, Chris Kalanis from Chucky Kovaso, just magical. There's no real replays there, so we weren't looking up at hey, is that good goal? Is that a bad goal? And but I remember almost breaking my left ankle as I fell off the bench there.
Yeah, that would have been a bad memory from that for sure.
Yeah.
Good thing you didn't. You know, you've been coaching, as I say, 50 years going back to when you started at Clarkson. Is there one thing that has changed the most over time? Because your success over the years indicates to me that you've been able to change with kind of, you know, roll with the punches a little bit, because things do change. What was the biggest one for you to deal with?
You know, I think just recognizing the fact that, you know, players want to play and be recruited to teams that have good players. They want to be on good teams. They want to have discipline. You know, so the characteristics are similar. You know, back from what Dave Taylor wanted, what, you know, George McPhee wanted, what you know, Cam Atkinson wanted. The good players want to play with other good players. They want to be pushed, and they want to reach the pinnacle of where they can go. And so we always stress that, but the changes really hasn't changed. You know, the music's changed, the way they dress changes. I've kind of kept that hair pretty short as all these guys from Lou Lamoriello's impact on me, but it really hasn't changed. The inner dynamics of the really good athlete has stayed the exact same. So, but you know, certainly the music's louder. And now I don't know what's going to happen. This portal is driving us all nuts, college coaches here.
Yeah, that has definitely been a factor over the last couple of years. Before I let you go, I got to ask you about your induction into the Hockey Hall of Fame. That has got to be something that was extra special for you as well.
You know, I've always tried to stay away from individual accolades and, how important it was. But, boy, when I got to Toronto and looked out and saw, Gretzky in the audience and, just all the luminaries in pro hockey, to be brought in there and Lou Lamoriello giving me the award, it was just set me back on my heels. And, I knew it was big. I had always followed the Hall of Fame. But boy, to be there and now have a jacket and get back and go to the next one now that I've retired, it'd be great to be there. It was spectacular.
Well, Coach, if anybody deserves it, it's certainly you. What a career you've had, 50 years of coaching, all the lives that you have impacted in a positive way. And we've gotten to see the guys who've gone on to play in the National Hockey League, but so many others have gone on to a lot of success in all different endeavors, and a lot of that is because they had someone like you to help guide them along at an important time. So thank you so much for the time. Congratulations on an unbelievable career. We wish you well in retirement. And you better not be a stranger. You better jump on with us from time to time. You could be our special college hockey correspondent.
I'd appreciate that, EJ. And now with playoffs coming, boy, it's going to be so exciting to, turn on the NHL network and watch various games throughout the country. So it's going to be great to see.
Absolutely. No doubt about that. Coach, thanks for the time today. We really appreciate it. All the best.